What's up, everyone? I'm back here again. As I said, we'll get started this way. A few days ago, I found out that Tributary Traveler, some know him as Orange and some know him as Casey. Um, well, during this video, we'll call him Casey. Um, Casey, on the 26th of July, had a car accident on his property, the property I stayed at back in May for a week. Um, all I know is that he was on his property. A car accident happened. Um, he passed away on August 13th. Passed away August 13th. The accident happened July 26th. So, um, if you if you ever watched a few of the videos, actually of me and him, well, him being the driver and me being the passenger on his property, you would know that it's a single dirt road in which only one car can fit. And depending on if you're driving up or you're driving down from the hill, or if you want to call it a small mountain, whatever, on one side, whether it be the left or right, um, there's basically a few. It's a 200, 300 foot drop. So if you don't hug the road close enough to the side that the driver's on, in that case, you're gonna drive off the cliff, which is the one-sided cliff of the hill, and you're gonna roll down the hill. Um, Based on my speculations, I can't verify this. I don't want to. It sounds like he drove off the cliff of his property, which is a single dirt road, as I said. The one side being the rest of the hill, and the other side going down. Because the accident happened on the 26th. Died on the 13th. He died on the 13th. I'm still trying to get over it. I know that he is dead. No, he's dead. So yes, he is dead. He died on the 13th, August 13th. I told him the day before I left when we were building a creek dam, and he got really drunk, and then he lost his keys for a couple hours, and he passed out for 2 hours after we built the creek, and I didn't know. No, so I didn't know he if we were gonna be there all night because he lost the keys. I found them. He passed out for a few hours. He halfway through his little nap, he he threw up. Okay, so he threw up halfway through his nap, and then he went back to bed. And there was one video of him sleeping at the creek where we were at. But yeah, so so that's what happened. Um, but after he got up and he drove me and him back up to his property. Um, Even though he had just been blackout drunk a couple hours ago, he was sober enough, he claimed, to drive. Even though he was clearly still drunk, but he wasn't blackout drunk, and I was the passenger. All of that, I did not. Okay, I did not list any of that. He was okay. Wait, no, no. So all I'm saying is he did mention to me that he did have some problems with DUIs. He did have a couple DUIs in the past. Um, this is all speculation. I don't. I'm just making it as a note, and I want to talk about the good things, not the bad things. But I want to make a short note just to get it over with of the bad things that might have. been a factor in this instance. Um, he was he was a he was pretty out there. I will say that. Um, there were times when I would talk to him, and there were times it would just having a conversation, and you would feel like you were walking on eggshells because you don't want to say the wrong thing, make him upset. He's very direct. He doesn't hold back. He he died. He there was it's because there's called an obituary. It's I know because I know his first and last name. I'm not okay. I'm not gonna say his last name on this in the during this video. I'm not gonna say his last name, but I will say his first name. That's Casey. Okay, his first name was Casey. I'm not saying his last name though. Okay, he. Okay, yes, he died. He died. No, he did not. Um. So, God damn it. He's mentioned to me before that he's done. He hasn't just had a problem. Well, he hasn't just drank. Okay, no. Okay. Yes, he has drank in the past. Yes, he's drank a lot in the past. But yes, has he done other things too? Yes, he has. Um, and he during the trip, he even asked me if I had brought party favors. Fuck it. Well, yeah. Okay, so he even asked me if I brought party favors, and I asked him because he picked me up from the airport of San Francisco, and yeah, so we were driving back to his place, picking it. Well, we were on our way to pick up like some like snacks for me because I was gonna be in a fucking trailer, or his guest trailer. So I asked, he asked me if I brought party favors, and I asked him, "What do you mean by party favors?" And I had an idea of what he meant, but then he suggested, I've done. He suggested, he mentioned. Well, he didn't suggest. He mentioned that, oh, I've done blow before. If you have any, yeah, we'll do it. Let's do it, dude. But it's like, okay, no, we didn't do any party favors. I think he was just making a joke. He was making a joke out of it, just saying if you brought any, thing other than if maybe you brought alcohol. He was making a joke, to be honest. But either way, when we did the hike, when him and I did the hike at Yosemite National Park, in which I shit my pants coming when we went back down. Um, Before we went up, he asked me, "Hey, fill the Gatorade bottle up." So when we drove back up to Yosemite the next day, for the second and last day, he asked me. He brought with him a 28-ounce bottle of Gatorade, and so he dumped some of it out to where there was like a quarter of it was Gatorade, and then the rest of it was vodka. So he told me to fill it up with 14 shots of worth of vodka. And he did that hike barefoot while sipping on a fucking 14-ounce bottle with 7 ounces of Gatorade bottle. So, and dude, he did that hike barefoot, and I'm here struggling, barely making it up. I'm not saying he's crazy, but he was wild, dude. He was a wild dude. He was fucking wild because he did that hike barefoot, drinking, basically almost straight vodka. Filming me, he was filming me having like a terrible time, fucking terrible time, dude. But it was funny though. I get it. It was funny. It was worth it. It was worth it. It was a good hike. He was. I don't say no. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't crazy. He was. Was he a little bit out there? Yes, he was. Okay. Um, there are other things. There are a few other things. With past loves he's had. Well, one past love, which I will not talk about because it was it was a very close conversation we had about his past love life. Well, that's okay. Well, that's not. That's cool. Did he ever get abducted? What? He was very into health. One thing I will say about I love the kombucha. I did a taste test of the kombucha he made. It was pretty good. It tasted good. Um, he knew he was very healthy. Okay, so he was very healthy. He just had some bad habits, and everyone has their vices. Everyone has their vices. Okay, everyone has their vices. So he just, however, not only did he take things to the extreme, okay, he took things to the extreme when it came to not only bad habits, but he also took things when it came to health to the extreme. He believed, okay, well, he told me when we were shopping at Walmart, um, trying to buy some things for the creek stream on day 5, and he was telling me that if you buy a store bought salami, it's full of sodium. It's terrible for you. And actually, I was looking at the back of this pack of salami at Walmart, and it's like, holy shit, this is full. It is full of fucking sodium. So I guess yes, there are certain store bought meats like salami, sandwich meat that are full of fucking sodium. It's little things like that that most people don't think about that he knew about. Like yeah, he was a health nut. He was, but he also, when it came to things like alcohol, he could go pretty fucking hard. He could go pretty hard. Well, if you guys found out information on any of his past life, that's you guys. I will not disclose it, but yeah, um, if you whatever information you guys found out, that's you guys. But I'm not gonna talk about it. If you guys found it out on your own, you guys found it out on your own. But yeah, relationships were a thing with him. I well, Jordan, yes, I do still have the Looney Tunes bit. So I'm gonna miss him because we. I will say this: I was planning on doing another. I was gonna do a part 2 trip. So I was gonna do a part 2 trip with him, either in February or March. I was planning on doing another trip with him. When it was cooler, when it was like in somewhere just after the winter. Um, I guess that's out of the picture now, and that sucks. That really sucks. It sucks. And him and I, okay, the thing is, I called him. He called me. He called me. He called me on July 20th. He called me 6 days before the accident. He called me 6 days before the accident about the video of the seizure video at the car museum. He called me about that 6 days before the accident on July 20th. And I just can't believe that. Yeah, it was it was an 8 minute phone call. It was a nice little size phone call, but I just can't believe that was the last time I talked to him. I can't believe that was the last time that I'll ever talk. And I tried calling his number yesterday just to make sure if if this was one huge conspiracy. I tried calling him, right, and guess what? I got the dun 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 dun. This number has been disconnected. So yeah, so his number has been disconnected. And by the way, that was his personal phone, his phone number that I had. His phone numbers has been disconnected. He was happy. he owned a lot of land. He owned a shit ton of land, over 100 acres of land. He didn't do anything with it, but I mean, he didn't do a lot with it. Like, he didn't really do anything. He just wanted to live off the land, but he didn't actually do anything with. This was so sweet, yeah. He didn't really do a whole lot. There's no. I called yet. No, I called yesterday. I called yesterday. It is disconnected. Yes, it is. It's disconnected. His number is not available. It told. Okay, it didn't say. It said that his number is. The number is not available. Yeah. Okay. Guess what? When you ring a number, it will still ring for a little bit. It'll ring for a few seconds, and then it goes to the sound where it says this number is not available. Yes, the number is not available. The number is not available. Okay. Yes, it will ring for a little bit for a few seconds, and then it will go to that little noise like dun 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 dun, and then it will say this number is not available. It's been canceled. It's yeah. No, yes. The number is canceled. The number is canceled. It's no longer a valid number. But even if it's not a valid number, it will still ring for a few seconds. And I will admit I did cry last night, and I did cry the night before. I did cry the night before, and I did cry the night before that. So I don't really. So I'm not gonna shed a tear on this. Like I'm not. I don't plan on it. Yeah, my friend. Like I would call him a friend, and that's a lot for me to say that someone who I cared, who like I had a personal experience with, something that where there were it was an experience where there were no rules. We didn't live by any rules. We just did whatever we wanted to. We ate like kings. We did what we wanted to. We went to Yosemite when we fucked shit up. Would you trade Blade's life for his? I would not. No. Okay, so wait. Would you trade Blade's life for his? So wait, so he lives and Blade dies. Well, by the way, Blade is 41. Casey was 36. Casey was 36 years old as of his date of death, not even a month ago, not 8 days, 9 days ago. Blade is 41 years old. Casey was 36 years old. So I mean, I did cry. No, I did cry. I did cry, but like you cry for a few days, and like when you're like drunk and everything, about you lost someone you cared about. I would not trade Blades. Blade died in like 2011. Blade is very much kicking. He's very much alive. Me and Blade talk every once in a while. Getting back to the point. I'm not trying. I'm not. This isn't about Blade. This is not about Blade. Okay. This is not about Blade. If you guys want to talk about Blade, you guys talk about Blade. Um. No. So the skin thing. It's psoriasis. No. So hey. So May. I will think that's actually a question that I will. Yes, I will answer. Psoriasis. No, it's not psoriasis. It's eczema. It, it's psoriasis. It's psoriasis of the. It doesn't affect his head. It affects his body. So so it's psoriasis on the surface of his skin. It's almost like dandruff, but it basically it's a deeper. It's a lot like dandruff on the scalp. It just in this case it builds up deeper. So if you try to pick at them, it'll cause them to bleed. One thing he told me about him being such a health addict is when he whenever he drinks for like an extended period of time, like a few weeks, that would cause the psori- the psoriasis to come back really badly. So whenever he quit drinking, then the psoriasis would kind of go down. Then when he came back to doing drinking, whatever, then the psoriasis would come back, and it would come back heavy. And so he made a lot of YouTube shorts. If any of you have gone to his channel, he made a lot of videos just showing his improvement of, oh, I haven't drank for 2 weeks and now my psoriasis is way less bad. I was not in the Navy. I was in the Army. I was in the Army for 4 years. I was in the Army for 4 years. But going on. So one of the reasons why he was such a big health nut was because he wanted to make his psoriasis as he wanted to minimize his psoriasis because it wasn't, as I said, it was all over the bottom from his neck down, below his neck. It was his chest, it was his arms, it was his legs. So he had bad psoriasis, body psoriasis. So that's one of the main reasons why he was such a health nut. It was because of his psoriasis. That's the reason why he was a health nut. That okay, if he did not have body psoriasis, then chances are he would not have been such a big health nut. But yes, it is true that it is true that healthy habits such as not drinking, etc., they help out with skin conditions. Acne can be, some people experience bad acne when they eat candy all the time. They smoke all the time. They drink all the time. No, I'm no. Okay, you're funny, dude. Yeah, yeah. Like Rambo. Did I ever see him doing meth? No, he doesn't do meth. Okay, he did not. No. He's not a. Okay, right now he had a full time job. Well, okay, he had a part time job at least. Um, he had a friend. Me and him. If you go back to the videos of me and Orange, we went to a friend of his nearby, just off of his property, but still on the mountain. Who owns? There are multiple people who own property on this big like hill, this mountain, right? He owns a part of it, Orange. Then you have other people who are farmers who own this other pieces of the mountain. So he had a friend named, okay, we'll call him Randy. So his name was Randy. We went to see him and we hung out. He had cattle. He had cows. So basically, so what I'm saying is, for a part-time job, him and Orange, no, Orange was a part-time, as a job, was a cattle wrangler. He worked with cows. That's what he did. He didn't do meth. No, we did not do meth. He did not do meth. Didn't do meth. No, we did not. No, he was not a meth user. And even then, yeah, he wasn't a meth user. He did live just south of San Francisco. I will say that, not too far away. Just up in, he lived in the Santa Clara Hills. That's a big ass mountain, like small mountainside of just south of San Francisco. We'll call that. I will say that. That's it.